All right, y'all. First and foremost, give all praise to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and His Son, the Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world knows as Jesus Christ. Okay. Um, we're gonna talk about mixed fabrics real quick. You know, we have to go back to some of these milky topics to make sure that that we're not putting up gates or making what do they call those fence laws surrounding the Torah to make sure we don't break the Torah. But because of our misunderstanding of the law, we start saying things or we start making certain claims about the law that's not necessarily true. And one of these things I feel, in my opinion, according to my understanding, that we do get this wrong in the Levitical law. Let me look here about mixed garments. Let's look here, Leviticus 19:19. It says, "Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy seed with mingled seed. Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and wool come upon thee." And that's pretty direct there. You know, if this is all we had, then we could, you can kind of just tell from this passage, hey, do not let a garment mingle with linen and wool come upon thee. End of the lesson. That's so when we talk about the mixed garments, and even you understanding the mixed field, it's not that, oh, you can't have a field with watermelons here, cantaloupe there, tomatoes there. It's just don't have them in the same row. You know how farmers, you'll see farmers, they're not gonna have a darn, and they don't do this. This just a proper farming. This is just proper agriculture. You don't put the darn tomato plant here. You plant a tomato plant here, plant a darn watermelon plant here, and you got them all in. You know how they plow the field. They're gonna put all the same plants in that row, all the same plants in that row, and then the next row they may put a different plant, but they're not. The soul seer, he don't just have a mixed thing of seeds and just throwing them out there. He got pumpkin seed, sunflower seeds, tomato seeds, watermelon seeds, and he just got them all in his hand in this little jumbo and then throwing them out there. No, then you're mixing the field, okay? But that's pretty clear. Now, even the linen and wool, it's not. I try to tell a lot of people just scared of scholarship. They're scared of going into the Hebrew. This is just taboo for them, or they just don't want to. People just want to stay where they want to stay. You have to respect that also. You know what I'm saying? You may not agree with them, but some people just don't want to learn nothing else. They just want to be where they want to be at. Or they don't want to hear it from you. Maybe they hear it from somebody else. So you got to be just mindful of that. But of linen and woolen. Yeah, all right, that's a phrase there, but it's only one word here. All right, look at this word, Sha'atnazi. Sha'atnazi.
Strong's H8162. Sha'atnaze. Sha'atnaze.
All right, mixed stuff, fabric of mixed weave, linsey woolsey. All right, linen woolsey, I guess. A kind of cloth forbidden. It's a cloth forbidden for fabrics. Cloth made by weaving linen and wool together. It's a cloth made by linen, sewing, weaving wool and linen together. And that's another thing that goes into it. I make garments for Israel, so I come across all the doctrines when it comes to garments. Some people don't, they want all their garment to be one thing. Some people okay having the fringes polyester and having the shirt cotton. Some people want cotton fringes, cotton polyester, cotton ribbon. Some people want the fringes to come out of the fabric of the garment. Meaning the frays that are from the garment, man, to start pouring down out there. And we were talking about agriculture. You'll thank God for these, for that rain. You'll be thanking the Lord for the rain, but we so far away from that. All our provisions come from us working in businesses and offices, that the rain becomes a burden. Anyway, but that weaving together of the fabric is really what it's getting into. It's a cloth made by weaving linen and wool together. Really, today there is no. I don't know if I haven't came across no. I'm in the apparel business. I make garments from scratch. I've dealt with a lot of fabrics, and I haven't seen. I don't know anything that no fabric where they're weaving wool and linen together, because they have opposite properties. If you look into linen has a different property than wool. Wool kind of gives, off of static electricity. It kind of, it's, if you ever wore them wool sweaters back in the day, man, back in the 80s, them wool sweaters. Let me see if I can get that camera right. Those wool sweaters, man. You used to walk around school. You get in the classroom, and the classroom got a carpet. You read the rubbing your feet on the carpet, man. You touch somebody, pop, you can pop them. And this is one of the reasons the Most High didn't want wool to be worn in the temple. We're gonna get into that also. Let me find another verse here. We're gonna go to Deuteronomy 21. Uh-oh. We're just gonna type in Deuteronomy 21. I think it's 11 though. Nope, it's not. 1 second, y'all. Is it 9? Give me 1 second. We gonna find it here. And the priest, remnant captivity. Hold on, man. I was 22. I'm tripping. 22:11. All right, it says, thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of wool and linen together. Okay, you should not wear of diverse sorts. And I can see how the as of wool and linen can get us thinking that he's just giving an example, like saying like putting wool and linen together. You shouldn't do that. No, it's really there. And I think that as of is kind of slanted. See? Wait. Yeah. See that the as is not there. All right, and then we see a garment of diverse sorts. We see that same word, sha'atnez, naz, or something like that. I tear that up. I can't speak no Hebrew. But we do have woolen here, okay, and we do have linen here. But a garment of diverse sorts, we have that same word, but now we have a different word for wool. All right, wool, whiteness is a metaphor. Wool in garments. All right. All right, Sumer and Paset for linen. All right, flax, linen, fiber used for garments. All right, so it's saying you should not, verse 11, you should not wear a garment of the certain verse sorts. It's really saying thou should not wear sha'atnaz. Sha'atnaz. Sha'at. You get what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's look at one more passage here. One more passage. And like I was talking about the properties of linen. Like I say, man, some people, I done tried to have these conversations with people and they just shut down, man. They just, man, ain't no way. No, man, ain't finna, you just want to wear mixed. It's not that. Like all my, everything I sell is, I try to give you 100% cotton, 100% linen. But then it goes into, well, can you put leather on top of that? Can you put in some people don't deal with that. Some people gonna say, oh nah, you ain't putting that, putting something on top of it. It makes it mix when it's really talking about this a fabric that's woven. All right, that thread is being woven together while it's making the fabric. Now we're not manufacturing our own fabric. Most of it's being manufactured. And most times I've never seen wool and linen be, that thread be mixed together like that. And I think it's the same way. It's the same principle with mixing your feel with diverse seeds. Just throwing random seeds out there, it can ruin your field and ruin your crop doing that. You should separate it. You should have this here, this here, this here. When I see people gardening and I see people doing agriculture, they had their plums here, they had their fruit trees over here, they had their cabbages, all their collard greens in one line, two lines, and the next line they may have something else, but that's never just mixed together. Collard green here, turnip green there, sweet potatoes right there, and then you don't really see that, and I think it's because, and it's problematic. I think it doesn't work when you do that. Let me get your camera back together. I may have to take this lens off. Take this lens off of this and use. Well, I don't know. This is the regular. It is the regular lens. Anyway, I may have it zoomed in too much. But I think it's for the same reason. It doesn't work. All right, the garments not going to work properly. It's going to have you mixing those properties, which is going to cause some kind of some interference, especially with a priest going inside it. And that's what we're finna read now. Ezekiel 17 through 20. It says, and it shall come to pass that when they enter in and this is talking about the ordinance of the Levites for a priesthood to come, all right, under the order of Zadok. All right, but the priest, verse 15, but the priests, the Levites, the sons of Zadok, that kept the charge of my sanctuary when the children of Israel went astray, they shall come near unto me and minister unto me, and they shall stand before me to offer unto me the fat and the blood, saith the Lord God. Anyway, verse 17. And it shall come to pass that when they enter in at the gates of the inner court, they shall be clothed with linen garments, and no wool shall come upon them, whilst they minister in the gates of the inner court and within. And they shall have linen bonnets upon their heads. And they shall, and there you had the bonnets. This is for the priests, though. This ain't for everybody. But the priests had to have linen bonnets upon their heads, and shall have linen breeches upon their loins, and they shall not gird themselves with anything that causes sweat. And it's another reason for the wool not being, the wool being prohibited, because you can't have anything that's causing you to sweat or perspirations while you're doing those priestly duties beyond that veil, when you're in those inner courts. And we've seen certain things with those, the chemical properties, what the Ark of the Covenant is made out of. People just falling dead, putting the wrong incense up there, having the wrong fragrance going, not the ones that's supposed to be doing it. Um, but let's keep going here. In verse 19, and when they go forth into the other court, even into the other court to the people, they shall put off their garments wherein they minister. All right, those garments, those holy garments for the Holy of Holies, they stay there. You don't go back out and minister and serve the people in those garments. All right, and that you can endanger the people doing that. You can get people killed doing that. And lay them in the holy chambers, and they shall put on other garments, and they shall not sanctify the people with their garments. All right, don't service them people with those garments on. I'm trying to sanctify those people with those garments on. Could be problems with that. All right, verse 20. Neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long. They shall only poll their heads. And we talked about this too, about the shaving heads. That was a law for the Levites. Okay, that was a law for the priests, that they are not supposed to shave their heads, and we see it again here. All right, talking about the priests. Neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long. All right, this is for the priests. So if you have long locks, but it doesn't apply to you, because if you're under the order of Melchizedek, you're not a priest in this dispensation. All right, you're not putting up no offerings, no sacrifices, and doing none of that. So none of that applies to you. But my brothers, they wanted the ephods, and they want to dress up like the priest. They want the linen garments and the pomegranate bells on the bottom. They want the armbands with the ephod on there with the tribes of Israel in the stones. And we under a different priesthood. But we just have to look at these things and just take these things into consideration, and again, understanding the spirit of the law, not just the letter. You know what I'm saying? You can just take things for face value, just base level understanding. And like I said, I can see how one could see, hey, I had that same understanding that, nah, man, I gotta wear. I'm searching Amazon for all cotton jeans. I'm not trying to wear no jogging pants. I'm not trying to, I'm worried about my underwear, because they got a rubber band around the top of it. I ain't wearing sweatshirts, because the sweatshirts got a different fabric at the bottom to make it stretch, across the arms to make it stretch. Certain blends are necessary for certain colors in cotton shirts. Brothers were scared of polyester. It's poly. It means two. It got to be multiple. Even though that's synthetic, that's chemically made product, and it's breathable. And that's the two properties. Like linen is breathable, wool is not. The priest Zadok and them, when they come back and they come to that time, he could have linen, but he might let them rock. He might let them rock polyester, because it's a breathable. It's breathable. And I think if you out there teaching, man, you should have on polyester, man. It's the best thing, to be out there when you doing the work, because it's a breathable fabric. But I yield with that. And a lot of the fringes that we buy are if you getting your fringes from shirtsandfringes.com, and what's my other brother name? I'm in Amazon and Joann's and Hobby Lobby. A lot of those are polyester fabric, or polyester fringes. But again, I pray this thing was edifying. Just a deeper look into the mixed linen, the mixed fields, and trying to get a better understanding on exactly what God's telling us to do, and or He telling us not to do. Very important. All right, with that, I yield. Shalom. Be blessed.